Welcome back. My name is Teresa and I'm very much alive. If you're new here, welcome. I have an awful, garbage, filthy mouth where sometimes, just sometimes, I tend to use the word fuck as a comma. I know, I'm awesome. If you're not into that or weird stuff in general, this is definitely not the place for you. Feel free to exit the video here. No harm, no foul. But I'll remember our time fondly. Hello, my little lambs. Have you ever looked at your collection and thought to yourself, wow, I'm embarrassed to even own this? Maybe it's kitschy. Perhaps it's a palette that is a collaboration that makes no sense in the beauty community. But the palette is just so good that you're embarrassed by it. In the art of exposing oneself, let me tell you my top 5 dirty little secrets. But before I do that, boys, we have a sponsor for today's video. First and foremost, thank you so much to Skillshare for partnering with this little garbage monster in today's video. I get many questions about my YouTube journey, especially when it comes to editing. And one of the things that I love to recommend is Skillshare. So words cannot express how excited I am to have a sponsorship with Skillshare because it's a product that I actually really enjoy using and literally telling everybody and their mother about. If you're not familiar, Skillshare is an online community for creatives with thousands of inspiring classes for creative and curious people where you can explore new skills, deepen existing passions, and get lost in the cavernous wonders that is your creativity. The beauty of Skillshare is that they offer so many different classes, from photography to creative writing, editing, productivity, you name it, they got it. So no matter where your skill level is at, Skillshare's got you covered. And with the fact that most classes are under 60 minutes, you can find something that fits your busy schedule. I know I have on multiple occasions. As I mentioned, a lot of people usually ask me about YouTube and how I got started. And there's one class that I feel like is really a great place to start. And it's called YouTube Success, Script, Shoot, and Edit with MKBHD by Marcus Brownlee. This class has not only improved my editing and how I film things, but most importantly, keeps your attention. Skillshare is curated specifically for learning, meaning there are no ads and they're always launching new premium classes. So you can stay focused and follow wherever your creativity takes you. Skillshare believes a strong community is essential to personal growth where you can tap into the support of fellow creatives who provide encouragement, communication, and inspiration. If that is not heartwarming, sir, I don't know what is, okay? Accomplishing growth is not only sexy, but it's beyond satisfying. And Skillshare's online classes make that possible. So let Skillshare satisfy you. Now you're probably saying,
Teresa, this sounds all fine and well, but what is this, $1 million?
Well, guess what, Susan? Skillshare not only wants to satisfy your creative juices, but they also do it on a budget. It comes out to less than $10 a month if you choose to have an annual subscription. I mean, you cannot get better than that. With that said, Skillshare provided a really good opportunity for y'all. The first 1,000 of my subscribers to click the link in the description box will get a free trial of Skillshare Premium membership, so you can explore the wonders that is your creativity. Do something today that you couldn't do yesterday. Thank you so much to Skillshare for partnering in today's video, and definitely go support the sponsors that support your garbage person right here. And with that said, let's expose myself and just experience all the secondhand embarrassment. I'm so excited for it. All right, I'm gonna start with my favorite palette actually out of the bunch because I feel like this is the one palette, well, there's 2 palettes I think that I have been kind of pretty vocal about enjoying, even though I know they are just embarrassing to look at. And if you have been a long-time subscriber, then you know my love and allegiance for this palette. So Sephora and Moschino decided to collaborate together and they came out with this laptop palette. Listen, aesthetically, I recognize that this is dumb. It's big, and while it's not bulky, it's kind of a pain in the ass to store anywhere. And because it's so flat, oftentimes this can get buried. But because of my love and admiration for this beast, this bitch is in the forefront, okay? And it's actually kind of funny. I use this palette pretty frequently, but I never show it on camera because you can't get him anymore. He ceases to exist. What is so surprising about this palette is that the pigmentation is fucking amazing. So this is what she looks like. This palette is beyond pigmented. Even having this palette for a few years now, the quality is still so fucking good. How is that even possible? The mattes and shimmers are incredibly pigmented. They pair so well together. You will never experience any sort of weird texture issues. And can I tell you, the silver in this palette, hands down, is the best motherfucking silver I have ever laid my eyes on. You think you know silver?
Bitch.
You don't know silver, okay? You don't know silver until you try this silver. And it's a damn shame that this silver doesn't exist anymore. So I really baby the shit out of this palette because I will cry the day that I hit pan. And you best motherfucking believe that this is going to be coming into the mausoleum with me. Rest assured that video is on the way sometime next month. It's been a little difficult. I'm trying to compile all the things that I want to be buried with me. And I realized that I definitely need a mausoleum at this point. There's no way all this stuff is going to fit in the casket with me. I tried, but it's really a mausoleum. Basically like a mausoleum Sephora, but I digress. Anyway, this palette has been my go-to palette since getting it. Its quality is outstanding. And it's really funny because I have tried countless palettes from Sephora, and it's so mind-blowing that Sephora doesn't use this formula in their existing palettes. It's like, who hurt you?
Who did this to you?
Are you that masochistic that you choose shitty quality instead of the beautiful quality of this palette? Well, Mr. Owl, I guess we'll never know. Now, the second palette I want to talk about, I feel like I've recently talked about this in my basic bitch video, and if you haven't seen that video, buckle up, Maria, you're in for a ride. I'll link it up in the corner. It's as exciting as going through an LL Bean outlet center, I'm sure, but in any case, the inner Anne inside you will thank you later. Anyway, can I tell you how embarrassed I am about this palette? I'm so embarrassed by it. Is this the best palette in the world? Fuck no, it's not. But it's fun, and I cannot stop picking it up. Too Faced is usually known for some basic ass bitchery, and this is no exception. So dust off those Michael Kors bags and those slouchy beanies that you think you're cute in, and let's get down to basics. The Too Faced Pumpkin Spice palette came out last year around the holiday times, and honestly, I didn't pay attention at first. Then I don't know what happened, but the next thing I know, it's on my eyes. The formula is fine, but in the same breath, it's also kind of amazing, which makes it stellar in Too Faced eyes, if that makes any sense at all. Too Faced is pretty inconsistent with their launches to begin with, so I really didn't have a lot of hope for this, but this, boys, this is good. Maybe it's because I live in Ugg boots for most of the year, and I'm pretty sure my blood is pumpkin spice at this point, so perhaps I'm biased, but this is just so much fun. It's so much fun that I'm embarrassed by it. I know I said this was one of my favorite palettes last year, and I felt shunned, okay? I felt shunned from the community. But it's okay, we're gonna have so much fun later. What I love about this palette is that it's so incredibly easy to use. The color story is very basic, it's very, very beautiful. You really cannot fuck up your eye look when using this palette. It's foolproof. The mattes and the shimmers, they blend beautifully, they have a really nice longevity, and kind of smells like pumpkin. Kind of smells a little wood chippy. I don't know. But in any case, for someone who has sensitive eyes, this actually doesn't bother me, believe it or not. I'm very, very excited to see what the next pumpkin spice release is going to be. Rest assured, it's going to be basic as fuck. And yes, I'll be the first one in line. Of course, with my giant Carmen Sandiego hat and sunglasses on so nobody recognizes me. But I love you. Okay, so I kind of feel like an asshole talking about this palette, and the reason for that is because I kind of went in really hard talking about it during a makeup bingo. This palette is so much of a cash grab it hurts, and I'm talking about the e.l.f. Chipotle palette. I know. And I believe in makeup bingo I was saying something like, oh, Chipotle is overrated, it sucks, except for the barbacoa, of course. And I actually would have preferred a Qdoba palette. Who wouldn't? Qdoba is amazing, especially with their ancho chili barbecue sauce, which, by the way, is not on the fucking menu, and it makes me sad. So, Qdoba, if you are listening, please bring it back. Thank you. Anyway, you know what's actually funny? When I was thinking about this list, and when I thought to include this, I was thinking to myself, you know, the next food release palette is probably going to be from Subway. And I feel like it's going to be coming from Hip Dot. So Hip Dot, if you are listening, I know this is probably in the works, and I can't wait to read it to filth. So I'm excited to see what exactly is going to come of it. But in any case, this has nothing to do with makeup. When I think of makeup, I never think of Chipotle. So I was blown away that this would even be a fucking collaboration. And I'll be honest, when I first saw it, yeah, the palette's actually really, really pretty, but the whole idea of it is pretty fucking embarrassing. And initially, I only really wanted the makeup bag because it looked like a crumpled up Chipotle bag and it was pretty fucking cute, but of course it's sold out, so whatever. But I was able to snag this. And what's sad about this is that this is a limited edition piece, so I never did a review on it because by the time that it came, they stopped making it, which is such a shame because this is probably my favorite e.l.f. palette ever. And I love that little jalapeno bite-sized palette, but fuck that palette. This palette's so much fucking better. This is kind of like the new and improved version of the e.l.f. bite-sized palette. And those palettes are good. I don't fucking understand. Anyway, so this is what she looks like. If you were lucky enough to pick this up, then you know what I'm talking about. The mattes are super smooth. They're super easy to blend. The shimmers are just absolute motherfucking perfection. And you will never experience any weird texture or bukkake explosions. It's pigmented and it's perfect. So yeah, who would have thought that a dirty little secret that sometimes results in explosive diarrhea could be this good? Not me, that's for damn sure. Okay, so Tarte. Listen, I shit on them all the time and with good reason. They are easy, easy marks. You've seen what they put out. I rest my case. But sometimes, just sometimes, the air is just right and they produce something so embarrassing that you're ashamed that you spent your good, hard-earned money on. And you know what? The products are actually good. So the first Tarte palette, yes, there are 2 Tarte palettes I'm going to mention. Did you just shit your pants from that? I know I did. Tarte had a collaboration with Adeline Morin. Now, I still don't really know who she is, except I think she was in some recent drama about vlog girls and there was a house and COVID and I really don't fucking know. Ugh. But anyway, when this came out, she was pretty much unproblematic at that point. And her fan base is incredibly young. I cannot stress that enough, okay? Anyway, this girl, she's young, she vlogs, and she has a heart-on for yellow, which in hindsight, I probably shouldn't have said it like that, but whatever, here we are. I myself have a heart-on for yellow, so I was very, very intrigued to try this palette out. Honestly, I really just picked up this palette because I wanted to see if the yellow was going to be good or not. So when I picked up this palette, by the way, on the day that it launched, I was met at Ulta by a sea of young girls, okay? And I, while waiting online, clutching this palette in hand, having to fight a child for it, I felt like a creepy uncle. I did. Even when I was paying for it, the sales associate side-eyed me. I know she did. And rightfully so. I'm pretty sure I'm on a list somewhere. But look at this yellow though. Like, how is that even possible? How did Tarte produce that?
I don't know.
So 2 years later after this palette was released, I still fucking use it. I still really enjoy it. It's basic, but it's really cute. And what I love about this palette is actually also what I currently have on my face today. By the way, my eye look is from e.l.f. and my blush and my highlighter is actually from this palette. The blush is so incredibly pigmented and the highlight, bitch, that's Alien Slut Goals. Fucking amazing. So yes, I feel incredibly weird having this palette in my collection. I'm embarrassed by it, but god damn it, it's fucking great. And it's funny because Tarte is known for having these kind of like weird collaboration with these vlogger girls. And for the most part, I have found them to be trash. Yes, I'm looking at you, Aspen Obart. Not you as a person. Your palette just sucked ass. I'm sorry, but you're fine. I'm assuming. I hope you're not problematic. I don't fucking know. Anyway, who cares? Point is that usually these collaborations are just like, whatever, snooze fest. But there's something about this that is just so fucking good. I'm embarrassed. So embarrassed. But moving on. Now, the last palette I want to mention is the Icy Betch palette from Tarte. Interestingly enough, this palette started off as an April Fool's Day joke. A few years ago, Tarte decided to release an Instagram post being like, hey, we're coming out with the Icy Betch palette. And hilariously enough, people lost their shit about it because normally Tarte is just known for the same brown neutral bullshit color story. So the fact that Tarte was possibly releasing something that was primarily a blue-green palette, people lost their motherfucking minds. And then when it was a joke, people just got really upset. So fast forward the year after that was teased, they came out with this teeny tiny little palette. So when you compare it to, say, the original idea, it's on a much smaller scale and there's actually a highlighter in this palette. But you know what though? It doesn't fucking matter because this palette's so fucking good. This palette is actually probably one of my favorite blue palettes that I own. This palette is unique because it's not only eyeshadows, you do have a really pretty icy highlighter that is an alien slut dream. Even having this palette for some time, the quality is just absolutely fantastic on it. Swatch you some of the mattes as well as the beautiful highlighter. The pigmentation is so incredibly rich. Oh my God, I love it. The mattes and the shimmers are beautifully pigmented. The longevity is excellent. The staining is fucking non-existent, if that's even possible. It's great. I know, I cannot believe what I'm saying either. Trust and believe that. I think for me, the whole cringy aspect of it is the word bitch. Okay, as somebody who uses fuck as a comma, the word bitch is so offensive. Oh God, it pisses me off more than anything. Well, no, I take that back. There's a lot of other things that piss me off more. But this, for right now, is on the top of the list. Nothing is more offensive than cleaned up curse words. It needs to be stopped. And for that very reason, I hide this shit in the back of my collection because I just don't want to see the fucking cover of it. But just know the contents are pure motherfucking gold inside. So I feel like the outside of this palette is equivalent to every cleaned up movie you've ever seen on TV. It's all phooey instead of fuckery. But I love you. And I always will. This is coming into the casket with me. With that said, those are my top 5 most embarrassing eyeshadow palettes. If you actually want to see more videos like this, but maybe some other different makeup products, let me know down below. I'll be more than happy to do it. And of course, I want to hear from y'all. Let me know your most embarrassing eyeshadow palettes, okay? The ones that are so bad, it hurts. You hide them. You hide them from people because you do not want to be judged, but you keep them because they're just like a reliable friend. Please, I can't be the only one embarrassed out here, okay? Please, share in the misery that is this, all right? Anyway, with that said, again, I want to say thank you so much to Skillshare for partnering in today's video and allowing me to embarrass myself. I appreciate that. Hit that subscribe button, it's free, and hit that bell icon for notification of all my future posts. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Patreon, to all my beautiful, wonderful patron bubbies. Thank you so much for keeping this delicious, disgusting, trashy, filthy, really gross garbage boat afloat. I couldn't do without you. I love that we can share in the secondhand embarrassment together. Seriously, much love. If you want to know what is currently on my face, because unfortunately the palettes that I mentioned in today's video, with the exception of the Adeline Morin palette, they unfortunately don't exist anymore. So I'm only able to link out that palette, which I believe is actually currently on sale. So if you do decide to get it, at least you'll be saving some money. If you want to know what is currently on my face, along with where to get my podcast, my merch, my bloopity blop blop, everything will be listed in the description box below. And I'll see you little grapefruits later. Bye.